Welcome to Clearing the Clutter Inside and Out with Julie Coraccio. Every Tuesday at 1 p.m., Julie interviews experts on all areas of clutter: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Learn easy to implement tips on how to release clutter and get organized to create the life you choose, deserve, and desire. An award-winning professional organizer and coach, Julie also shares suggestions to help you live clutter-free for a more joyful and fulfilling life. Are you looking for information on how to get organized and reduce clutter? Have you wanted to hire a professional organizer, but it's not in your budget? Do you just need some quick professional advice on clutter or organization? Our clutter-free living classes and how to organize your life office hours support you in becoming free, moving forward, and achieving success. Learn more at reawakenyourbrilliance.com.
In this episode, we are going to be talking about planning your day. Well, everybody's job is individualized. Here are some general tips to support you in planning a wonderful day. If your calendar is cluttered, other areas of your life could be cluttered too. Now, what I'm going to suggest is, even though we're talking about strategies and tips for planning your day, that you begin by strategizing your week. So what I have in my office is a big monthly calendar that I break down by week. So for instance, I know I have a dental appointment, or I have a podcasting client, or I have a coaching client. That's all mapped out during the week. And that's the first thing I do, is put down appointments. But if I look at the week picture, that allows me to break down my to-do list for every day a lot easier. If you didn't get something completed from last week, you're going to make sure that that's something you want to do in the first day of your work week. I always recommend, and this is something I do personally, is visualizing how you'd like your day to go. I wake up, I visualize everything running smoothly, I'm able to get a hold of the people I need to, I land the sale, whatever it is that you do, imagine it all flowing and imagine it all with the positive outcome that you desire. Now, I recommend using one planner and calendar and a place to keep all your contacts. Doesn't matter if you use paper or electronic, as long as you use one and stick with it. I've met many people who try to remember everything or have notes in multiple locations. Pick one and use it. Write down what you need to do. Schedule your appointments. Keep your weekly, monthly, and yearly goals nearby. Prioritize your task. This is an important skills to have. If you struggle with this, there are books. Franklin Covey. When I was at USC, when I got hired, my department made me go and take a day-long course from Franklin Covey. And I thought, oh my gosh, a day? Really? 8 hours to work on my planner? But I have to tell you, that was 15 years ago, and I still use most of that system today. They teach you about 4 quadrants to help you learn what your priorities are. So if you struggle in this area, then I'm going to encourage you, build up that muscle. So the first thing you're going to want to do, you have your to-do list, you've kind of mapped out your week, look at your day, and prioritize your task. A simple way that some people do it is ABC, then A1, A2, and of course A being, if you don't get it done, there are going to be severe consequences. B, it's really important that you get done, but maybe not some consequences. And C, okay, it'd be great to get done, but no fire to put out. Block out time to do routine or administrative tasks, such as returning phone calls, your emails. This stuff is not going to magically get done, but it still needs to happen. If you do them during the same time each day, they tend to go more quickly. Now, don't ask me why that is. I've read that in a study, and I found that personally, if I do it for some reason, it works. It's a good time to check email at certain times during the day so you aren't constantly interrupting what you are doing. If you have a lot of email, designate times in the morning, afternoon, at the end of the day. I know that at my last job, I had Outlook, and it used to drive me nuts because they'd have that unread mail, and it was the Pavlovian response. Oh my gosh, I've got to respond, I've got to respond. But there are lots of statistics out there. One, that we can't multitask, and that if you stop to do one thing, to switch gears to do something else, even if you're just concentrating on one task, you lose a lot of time, as it takes you an adjustment to get back to what you're doing. If you're not good at estimating how long something will take as you're planning your day, I suggest track your activities for a week or two to get a better idea of how much time you're actually spending. I talk a lot about social media and what a time sucker that is. It's one of those things I can say, oh, I spent about a half an hour on social media, and then 2 hours have gone by. So I'd encourage you, if there are certain job tasks that you're doing and you're not sure how you're long, even if you don't have the time to devote to tracking all your time for a week, look at certain items and so you have a better idea of how you're spending your time. Schedule your task. As I mentioned just a moment ago, I have yet to see a study that says we can successfully multitask, and in fact, it ends up taking more time. One of my worst habits is sometimes I will talk to a friend on the phone and email. The person on the other phone knows what I'm doing, and it's a friend. I would never do it with business. And I'm trying to talk to them and listen and finish up an email, and I can't do either of those effectively. So when you're scheduling a task, plan the time to do that one task. Another thing I've learned is to factor time in daily for emergencies, interruptions, or as I now like to say, opportunities. At my last job, it was one emergency after another, but there are a couple of bright spots. It forced me to start my own business, and I also learned to schedule time for this and not be so booked and jam-packed that I became overwhelmed or I can't get important things done. Since starting my business, I prefer to call them opportunities. You never know what can happen, so make time for it. Because I've had open time, I've had opportunities such as doing an interview. Someone canceled at the last minute. Well, gosh, I have the flexibility in my schedule, and so I'm able to respond. So again, emergencies, interruptions, opportunities, whatever it is, make sure you allow time for it and don't jam-pack your schedule. If you need to, put up a do not disturb sign. Even if you have a home office and work from home, you can do this. If there are things that you have to focus on and get things done to make your day run smoothly, put that sign up. I recommend to people creating a place for ideas or notes, whether it's, again, electronic on your smartphone or your computer, or if you have a notebook of ideas. I'm the type of person, I always have ideas popping up into my head, and maybe I'm doing work for another client, but I think, oh, this might work for my other client. So I have a place where I keep all my ideas that I can come back to later. I think that, again, most of us have so many multiple projects we're working on. Keep a list of all those wonderful ideas that come to you. Now, I took a class once that said to make your most important phone calls in the morning because you're more likely to catch people. And this is something, again, that I've tried to incorporate. I don't call too early. My thinking is people need to get to the office, maybe get their cup of coffee, check their social media, let them get their day started, and then I make calls. I'm going to encourage you also to schedule time to eat, take breaks, stretch, meditate, whatever it is that you need to re-energize yourself throughout the day. A lot of people are moving towards standing desk because they found that most of us are sitting for 8 hours a day, and that's not necessarily a good thing. So I'm going to encourage you, take time, don't eat at your desk. I know if we're very busy, we can get in that habit, but if you take care of yourself and in all areas of your life, it's going to help your day run more smoothly and your job run more smoothly and your life run more smoothly. So get those stretches in, get that 10-minute closing your eyes to regroup, whatever it is, but schedule it. I'm also going to suggest that you attack your most important projects when your personal energy is highest. If my schedule allows, my energy is best after lunch. I used to be a morning person and then met my husband who works a swing shift, so my schedule has adjusted. I'm fed after lunch, I'm happy, and it's a great time for me to focus on whatever needs to be done. Again, if you have that flexibility, it's really great if you are challenged. For instance, I am not a fan of cold calling. I would rather have my wisdom teeth removed several times. And so I always tackle that if I need to in the afternoon because I know I'm going to be in the best possible frame of mind. Now, if you have flexibility in your day, and this is something I have moved more towards doing, I'm going to encourage you to ask yourself what you feel most motivated to work on. I have switched how I do things a little bit, and I keep a running notebook every week of what needs to be accomplished. And so writing is usually, every week I will be writing something, whether it's a blog, whether it's notes for a show, I have to write. And so if I wake up in the morning and say, okay, what do I feel motivated to do? And if it's writing, I'm going to do that. And I found a lot of times when I do that, I'm able to get more things done because it feels right. I'm in the right frame of mind and things just flow. So again, if you have flexibility, check in with yourself and see what you feel most guided to work on. I'm a huge fan of using color to differentiate on your calendar to make it easier to read. For instance, in my office, I have two big whiteboards. One is the current month and one is the next month. And I color code everything. Clients are green, appointments are red, episodes are black. And because I'm so visual, this helps me have my calendar organized better. It's easier for me to read at a glance. I have a good idea of what's going on. And then you can take it a step further. And for instance, color code client files. If they're green on my calendar, they're also green in my filing cabinet. Again, just that little nudge, that little key, okay, this is what it's related to, and you know at a glance. Anything that you can color code, I encourage that. If you tend to forget or are extremely busy, set up reminders for meetings, calls, whatever you have going on, and use the timer to make sure you're on track. I've mentioned writing a couple times. When I write, I can be completely lost. I get tunnel vision, and it's kind of like being in the bathtub for me. I have no idea how much time has passed, and it's kind of the same way with social media. So if you're someone that gets focused like that, I'm going to encourage you to set up reminders for all those necessary appointments and meetings. Throughout the day, take time to assess how your day is going, and do you need to course correct? What do you need to do? If you started on a project, and again, it's going to depend on priorities, but if you have flexibility, with my writing is a great example. I like to write a draft and then step away from it. I clear my head, I can go work on something else and come back to it. So just see how your day is going. Schedule time at the end of the day for review and preparation. If you have an out-of-the-office meeting, you'll want to make sure you're dressed appropriately, or perhaps you have an in-office meeting and need to make sure you're dressed appropriately for a client. You can also get a jump and plan for the next day. Move anything not completed today to the top of your list to do the next day. It's worth it to take a few minutes to tidy up, file, and be prepared to come into a clean desk for the next day. All right, I hope that you have a magnificent day and that you've learned something that will help you plan for an even better day. Go out, clear some clutter to create the life you choose, deserve, and desire.
Are you looking for information on how to get organized and reduce clutter? Have you wanted to hire a professional organizer, but it's not in your budget? Do you just need some quick professional advice on clutter or organization? Our clutter-free living classes and how to organize your life office hours support you in becoming free, moving forward, and achieving success. Learn more at reawakenyourbrilliance.com. Thanks for tuning in to Clearing the Clutter Inside and Out. Sign up for our newsletter and receive a free copy of 10 clutter-free living tips. Ready to create the life you choose, deserve, and desire? Learn about Julie's coaching, ebooks, online monthly decluttering classes, how to organize your life, office hours, and her unique clutter-free living mastermind at reawakenyourbrilliance.com. You can also watch all episodes on YouTube or download on iTunes and more. Join us next Tuesday at 1 p.m. Remember, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step.